Hey, what's up, guys? It's Joe Alsobrook. Look, I posted a video early this morning. I was in a hat, I was wearing some sunglasses, I was in my car, just going to the gym, right? And the message that I said was so important that I wanted to go back and do a more concise video on that message, right? Because it hit home with me, and that's why I share these things, right? I don't share these things to say, hey, look how awesome I am, you should do this too. I share these things because if it's a lesson that I learned, if it's something that's been weighing on me, I know it's affecting you too. And maybe not you, but maybe someone you know, right? And if we're all honest with ourselves, we can learn from a lot of different areas. All that said, let me get right to the point. Communication. Why do we feel that our communication may be lacking, right? And some people might consider themselves great communicators, and to that I applaud you, right? But I know that myself, I have issues in communication. And it really kind of came to light through social media. And it wasn't even myself. I wasn't even having issues when I saw this, but I saw this just like most of the time when we see someone who has a problem, we can see that in someone else, but we can't necessarily see that same problem in ourselves until someday, in one moment, we just kind of become self-aware and be like, oh yeah, it's kind of happening to me too, right? So hey, here's what happened, right? Me and a friend were having a conversation on social media, right? And another friend, and see what's funny is both of these people are going to see this and they're going to say, you're talking about me? Yes, I'm talking about you. So as me and a friend were having a basic social media conversation, another friend comes in and interjected into that. But he did it really incorrectly, right? He did what we all do. And we all make these mistakes. I make these mistakes, but I don't notice it when I do it. I only notice it when someone else does it. Here's what he did. We were having a conversation about a band, right? About some music. And in that conversation, we were flowing with, hey, did you think about this? Oh, I didn't think about that. What about this? Conversation, right? People asking, people telling, and communication going both ways. This guy comes in and said, nope, this was the best. This is what it was. Pretty much end of story, period, right? Horrible communication. Terrible communication, especially in the middle of a conversation. But it's not even his fault. Well, it's his fault because he did it. But it's not his fault because it's where communication has started to evolve for us. All right, look, I'm rambling a little bit. Let me get more specific, okay? We're starting to communicate like the Facebook comment sections communicate. You know what I'm talking about, right? We've seen them at this point. We see that when you go to a Facebook post, you see some news site post something, you see some page post something, you see somebody post something. What's the first thing we do? We grab our popcorn and we go right to the comment section, right? And we're just scrolling through the comment section going, oh my God. That's what a certain section of us do. Another certain section of us get in there and stoke volatility. Sometimes it's trolling, right? But other times, and more times than not, it's just through really terrible communication methods. They'll go in there and they'll give their opinion. Look, I'm going to prove you guys wrong. I'm going to drive this home and you're going to listen to me. Who have you ever listened to in life that's been giving you information like that? Here's a better way to do it. Oh, what did I just do, right? So instead of doing it that way, why don't we try a different way? This is what I've tried to do, and it's really kind of helped, right? It's kind of an easy little topic, and maybe this helps, maybe this doesn't. Maybe you can just say, get to the comment section in here and tell me how stupid I am, right? But I believe this is going to help you out. So here's what I do. Communication is understanding. Think about that for a second. I've been trying to approach it from a reverse angle, right? I can't effectively communicate with you until first I understand your perception and your point of view. And until I understand your perception and point of view, right, I'm only ever stating something in the contrary. So we've been more and more formulated to be contrarians in our communication. Everything's got to be a debate, right? So you say something and I'm going to tell you something else, and it's the ESPN formula, right? You know, we all seen Skip Bayless, we've seen Stephen A. Smith, we see these guys go back and forth at them and their counterparts, and it's a debate, right? Everything's not about who's the greatest basketball player of all time. If I say right now on social media that I think Wonderwall was the best song Oasis ever put out, and Oasis is one of the best bands ever, I don't really listen to that. But hey, If I did, I guarantee you it would draw adverse reaction from somebody saying something different. But why? I didn't ask for it. And they didn't even understand of why I said that that was the best song ever. Maybe that's my opinion, because not necessarily the music, the band, or the content, but maybe it brings me back to a time. Maybe it brings me back to a college time or a party or people I was around. And that's why, to me, it's the best. So you're not really going to convince me otherwise about why your song is the best, right? We're only going to have two opposite opinions. But why do they have to be opposite? Why can't they just be opinions? Why is someone's opinion, right, better than yours or worse than yours? Two people communicating can both be right, and they can both be wrong based on their perception. And I'm not talking about issues of immorality, right? I'm not talking about immoral issues or anything like that. I'm talking about the basic communication. Two people can both be right, and by that same token, they can both be wrong. But until we understand where that other person's coming from, maybe it's us that's wrong. Once we have that different perspective and that different perception of what we're talking about. So, I've said a lot, but what am I really saying here, right? Communication is understanding. And until we understand each other, maybe we should start communication with asking questions. Just ask a simple question. Here's an extreme example to that very basic point. If I wanted to change a Ku Klux Klan member's opinion on other races, if I went up to them and just started telling them how wrong they were, that would be a fight. And I'd never get anywhere because they'd have their opinion and I'd have mine. But instead, what if I took that time to ask them about how they came up, their family history, their heritage, about how they were brought up and how they came about those thoughts, those ideals, and those concepts. And then in those conversations, what if they were inspired to ask me some questions about what I think and what I feel? And then in that communication, information going, right, being asked and being received back and forth, right? In that communication, what if I planted the seed that changed their mind and perception? What if they started letting go of some of those? Now, again, that's a radical example of a very basic concept. And it doesn't always have to be something as radical. But if you want to change someone's mind about how they think about you, how they have an opinion about whatever, as something as trivial as your sports team, right? If we start off with what they do and what they understand and why they think a certain way, our communication, if nothing else, is going to be more appreciated. It's going to be more effective. And who knows, right? We might just start creating some real change out there. Because right now, I just see a bunch of Facebook comment sections and people arguing. But hopefully we can start that change a little bit. But it's going to take all of us, or at least some of us, to start doing that. So my question to you is, why are you watching this video? Right? Maybe I've provided some content in the past that you connected with. And if that's the case, then what was that content? Because I don't know. Right? I see people that watch my videos and interact, and I don't know necessarily what draws them in or what brings them in there. I just want to share my ideas because I do really want to affect a change. I want to impact people. I want to help you become better. That's my true want, right? That's why I do this. Otherwise, I'd try to do this and create money out of it, and that's really not what it's about. It's about that I want to help people with lessons that I've learned so I can help shorten that learning curve, that learning cycle just a little bit for you. Look, I rambled on long enough, but hey, this was about communication, right? So give you the little emoji shrug. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you like this, right, like it, share it, comment on it, or most importantly, just take the information and try to apply it. Now, I always leave you with some call to action. And this one, go execute. Make the world a better place. Make our communications better. We don't have to wait on anyone else. It's up to us. See you guys later.